Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today we are doing a what month are we in? March reading wrap up. So come along. Honestly, this will be interestingly fun. I have my laptop with Goodreads and my water. I was drinking my matcha, but I kind of finished it. And I do have another one, but I don't want to, because I just finished it, so I don't want to have another one and then feel bloated, especially because we're going to the beach later for our party. Anyways, let's move on and let's start with the reading wrap up of March. So the first book that I read in March was none other than Reckless by Lauren Roberts. I don't have a copy of it because I listened to the audiobook. I literally specifically got Audible just to listen to this audiobook, and I think I'm gonna get Audible for next month as well so that I can listen to Fearless, because Fearless comes out April 8th. Literally my calendar is marked, and I was planning to try and skip school that day, but I've skipped school 3 times in the past 2 weeks, and that is just not acceptable for myself. Like, for myself, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. I'm not sorry. I'm gonna be in class, and I'm definitely gonna be listening to Kai and Peyton and their story going on, but I need to be in class for myself. I'm not gonna be skipping school, but I might just be listening to it instead of focusing on my lessons. Anyways, so let's talk about Reckless by Lauren Roberts. If you don't know, Powerless is the first book in the series, so I can't say too much about Reckless, otherwise it's gonna spoil Powerless. But if you haven't read Powerless, oh, okay. I have the dust jacket over here, which means that the book's definitely on my desk, but I'm not gonna get up. You guys have seen this. If you've watched my videos, you've seen me hold up Powerless one too many times. I mean, hello? Kai Azar. He is my top book boyfriend. Him and Zayden Ryerson, top book boyfriend. Anyways, let's talk about it. Okay, so if you don't know, which I'm sure you do, Powerless follows Kai and Peyton. Basically, Kai is the prince and the future enforcer of Ilia, which is the place where they live, and so he obviously lives in the castle. And then you have Peyton Gray, and she is an ordinary. Okay, wait, let's take it back. Basically, they live in Ilia, and what happened was there was a plague which turned ordinary people into elites, and elites basically just means that they have powers, right? So Kai is an elite. He is the prince of Ilia and the future enforcer. So Kai Azar, his power is basically his power is that he can take from the other people's powers around him. So if he has a mind reading elite close to him, he can take basically mimic the person's power. So then they can both use the same power at the same time, which is so cool. And then Peyton, she's an ordinary, which means she has no powers. And the thing is that the king, who is Kai's father, has basically ordered the kingdom in a way that they kill ordinaries, because they don't want any weakness within their country, because if an elite reproduces with an ordinary, then it's going to basically exile the elites, and then there's only going to be ordinaries. So they don't want that to happen, so what they're doing is they're killing ordinaries. Now Peyton, how does Peyton live? How does she survive? Okay, there's guards left and right. How does Peyton survive? Peyton survives because her dad, the way that her dad brought her up, taught her how to become a psychic so that she can use that as her power and her excuse. So how she does this is she basically creates assumptions with the things that she sees, and that helps her so much. She gets out of so much trouble and stuff, and the amount of times that she's nearly been killed, but it has been prevented because of her having this psychic ability is honestly insane. So how do Kai and Peyton meet? Basically, Peyton obviously steals for a living. She's an ordinary. Her father is dead. Her mother died giving birth to her, so she doesn't have anyone except for her best friend Adina, and they both live in the slums. And so Peyton pickpockets basically, and she's walking, she sees this man, she bumps into him, she talks to him to steal from him, to steal shillings, which is their currency. So she steals from him. She doesn't know that it's the prince or the future enforcer. She steals from him, and then she goes about her day. But then later on, she sees him in a battle, basically almost dying, because there's a silencer, and a silencer, their power is that they can silence the other people's powers. So whatever power it is, the silencer can silence their powers. So obviously Kai didn't have the strength to fight back without his power, and also because it like does something mentally, whereas Peyton has her psychic ability, as in she's an ordinary, so it doesn't work on her, but she is a bad. So what she does is she saves Kai, and then they have this whole scene, and basically everyone watches her save Kai from the silencer, right? Which lands her a spot in the trials that she did not ask for. So now not only does she have to try and be a psychic and stay out of like harm's way so that she doesn't end up giving herself away and literally being like killed because of it, she now has to try and hide herself and like make as if she is actually genuinely a psychic in the castle, because now she's staying in the castle in preparation for the trials. And not only that, but she has to survive the trials because the trials are deadly. But she has Kai as her, and then she also has a friendship with Kit, who is Kai's older brother. They're just related because of their dad. I think they're related because of their dad, but I know that they're like, they don't share the same moms. But yeah, that's kind of all I know about that. Anyway, so Reckless is the second book in the series, and I rated it 5 stars. Here's my review. Love Kai, and I will die on that bridge, because everyone's saying that like the second book, they're like, no, like it's boring, how many times are they gonna have the same conversation, this and that. But bro, it sets up for Fearless, and if Kai and Peyton don't end up together in Fearless, I'm just gonna quit. I'm literally gonna quit. But with that being said, love them. Anyways, I simply cannot not be in love with Kai Azar and Peyton Gray. Like, they are just they themselves, and they're so... If you haven't read Powerless, please go read it. I have the special edition. That is how much I'm obsessed with it. Please go read it for me. Literally for me. In my telling you guys, like when me giving you guys recs, I mentioned it in there. Please go read it. Go read Powerless, go read Reckless, so that we can be besties and twinning and listening to the audio. Oh yes, another thing, listen to the audiobook. Chase Brown's voice, it perfectly encapsulates Kai, and I love Chase Brown. Like, if Chase Brown could narrate my biology textbook, I am like not only narrate it, but also adding a few darlings, I would be the best at biology. I would be studying biology, listening to my biology textbook over and over and over again. Like, I honestly, like, I need that. I would pay money for that, because I swear that would actually help me so much. I would just be the best at everything. If I could do that and have him read whatever I need to study, I'd be a straight A student, not even gonna lie. Anyways, love Chase Brown's voice in the audiobook. He's just the boy, honestly. Anyways, so I read Reckless, and then I also read Caraval, which, if you don't know Caraval, I'm about to explain it. Basically, Caraval is this event that happens, I think it's like every 100 or so years, once a year. Okay, it happens once a year. And basically, it is hosted by the Master Legend, and it's these very exciting games that happen, and one person has died from these games, so like it is hectic in there. Like, these games mess with your head, but it is so fun. And their grandmother has told them the stories from when she was invited to go to Caraval. It is an invitation only event, and they've told her so many stories, and they've just longed to be invited and to go and to experience the magic that is Caraval. And so Scarlet Jagna specifically, since she was very, very young, has written letters to the Master Legend and asked him like every single year or so like how much she loves him and how much she would love to be able to attend one of his whatever, like his event and all of that good stuff. And so when she writes to him telling him that she is engaged, he finally gives her an invitation for her sister and her fiance, right? But she's never met her fiance. It's engaged. It is a arranged marriage, and so she's never met him. She's just written letters to her husband, and that's kind of the extent of their relationship. And honestly, Scarlet's happy with it, but when she gets invitations, she really wants to go, but obviously she can't because otherwise she's gonna miss her wedding, which she is hoping on to get out of her toxic household because her dad is low-key, high-key abusive. Anyways, so basically Scarlet's like, no, I can't go. I need to get married so I can get out of here, essentially. And so Donatella, what she does is her and her special friend Julian basically kidnap Scarlet and take her to the island where Caraval takes place, whether she likes it or not. And then she's like, you know what, honestly, I can play these games and I can get back in time for my wedding. And then she plays the games, but her sister goes missing. And that's all I guess I can say. This book, I think it was like it was around a 3-star, I'm not even gonna lie. It was like a 3-star for me. It was a 3-star for me because number one, it took me a long time to read it. Number two, I was not interested that much, not even going to lie to you guys. Yeah, 3.5 stars. I didn't hate this book, but I didn't like it either. Scarlet and Tella both annoyed me. However, the vibes were fun. I loved the setting and the second guessing, because not only was your main character second guessing, you were second guessing. So I enjoyed the vibes and the magic, but Donatella and Scarlet, honestly, at some points I wanted to strangle them and tell them, figure stuff out. Like, honestly, it's not that hard. They annoyed me. The main characters annoyed me so much, specifically Donatella, but then the ending was okay. But while I was reading it, they were annoying me. But the ending was interesting. This book is just so creative, but I feel like it's overhyped, and that's all I'm gonna say for Caraval. Okay, so what's the next book that I read? The next book that I read was To All the Boys I've Loved Before. This book I read for my 24-hour readathon. And so To All the Boys I Loved Before, it's a book by Jenny Han, and if you don't know, it follows Lara Jean and Peter Kavinsky. Lara Jean is a hopeless romantic, and every guy she's ever been in love with, she has written a love letter to and put it in a special box that her dead mother gave to her before she died. And so what essentially happens is she's going about her normal day, and then Peter Kavinsky, who's a guy she used to like be in a relationship, well, not in a relationship with, but she used to like him, and they kissed when they were like in middle school, comes up to her and starts referencing the letter, and then shows her the letter, and she's like, how did you get this? And turns out that all her letters have been sent out to all the guys she has loved, literally to all the boys she's loved before. And so it's basically about her figuring out that mess, and basically some letters she's embarrassed about, some letters things happen and she figures out things, but she also doesn't want her sister's ex-boyfriend, who she used to be in love with, to think that she is still into her, because basically her sister and the boyfriend break up, but then the letters get sent out and they're still friends, like her and her sister's ex-boyfriend, they're still friends. And he's like, the letter, and she's like, oh yeah, by the way, I'm dating Peter Kavinsky. So basically her and Peter Kavinsky have this fake relationship, and it's about them fake dating, and if you've watched the movies then you know. But yeah, so I rated this a 3-star just because I low-key high-key only read it for the vibes. I just need something to read for my 24-hour readathon. I was listening to the audiobook. It was light, it was fluffy. I could do lots of things. For some scenes I didn't really have to pay attention because I'd watched the movie, so even if I missed out on information, it wasn't that bad because I basically understood. But I enjoyed like the extra scenes in the book. Like I love reading books sometimes after the movies, obviously it depends, but I enjoyed reading this book or listening to this book after watching the movie. I did watch the movies like 2-3 years ago when they initially came out, so I had forgotten a few things, but I just thought that it was so fun and so interesting. Like I really enjoyed it. And so that was like 384 pages according to Google. And then this is the last book that I completed this month, which is Everything I Never Told You. This is by Celeste NG. And this book, honestly, I also rated this book 3 stars. I don't know what's up with me and giving books 3 stars, but this book was a 3-star. I enjoyed the contents of the book. The ending fell flat. Anyways, if you're wondering what this book was about, this book is about a family, and basically it's a Chinese American family, and they're living in the 1970s, and basically there's a lot of like depth to these characters, but essentially the plot line is that their perfect daughter, basically she ends up going missing, and then she is found dead in their local lake, like at the bottom of their local lake. And it just goes through the backstory of like why that happened. Was it a murder? Did she commit? And then also it flicks between past and present, so you understand like what happened leading up to it, their family drama, like how their family is, the family dynamics. And honestly, Celeste NG, she did a fantastic job like putting everything together in a seamless way. Like this book is 300 pages, and yet I know so much about the family. Like she just gave us a sentence and I knew the family dynamics. Like she is just so good at like showing you things without like she doesn't tell you everything, she shows it to you within the dynamics, and she also tells you sometimes. But you know, I really enjoyed this book because it was quite easy to understand. I could understand it. I felt like I was a part of this family, and honestly this emotional depth, like this book spoke to me. If the tabs don't tell you anything, this book spoke to me. It's just the ending fell flat, and because also of this like deep emotional, like it was hard to read sometimes because I had long days, and then coming home and picking up this book honestly just made them feel longer. But I did enjoy this book and the perspective that this book has given me now. That like it's actually insane. Like this book I would recommend to you because it is like it's like perception wise, it is a life-changing book. It teaches you about grief, and it also teaches you about like family dynamics, specifically this. Anyways, my dad just called me, but I'm about to wrap this video up anyways. I'm just gonna read my review and then that's it. So let's read the review. Oh, I didn't write a review, I just marked it as read. Yeah, I need to write a review for this, so I'm gonna do that now. But otherwise, honestly, I think I read a good amount of books. I read 4.5 technically, because I'm currently reading Shatter Me, but that will only be on next month's wrap up, because that is a part of next month's situation. But thank you so much for coming along with me, for watching today's video. I hope you guys had as much fun as I did, and I will catch you in the next one, which is coming out Friday, which is my TBR, because this is the wrap up. So the wrap up comes out Wednesday, and then the TBR will be out on Friday. So I hope you guys enjoy this week's little extra video bonanza, but it'll follow as usual, where I will only be posting on Wednesday the following week. Anyways, I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching my content. Thank you for supporting me, and I love you guys so much. Bye.